Oh, hey folks, welcome back to the Terradome. So the JP Merchoids have completely destroyed this ship. I'm marooned on this godforsaken ice planet with no heating. Entire floors have been retconned, which really pisses me off. And they don't look like how I remember them. And worst of all, the JP Canon timeline that I've been working on for absolutely years is strewn everywhere. And I'm just going to have to piece it all back together. Oh, sorry about that, folks. I'm coming down with a nasty cold because of the freezing temperatures of this planet. How about once I've got the heating fixed and I've pieced together my JP timeline, I'll show you guys and walk you through it so you can see what I consider to be the ultimate Jurassic Park canon history timeline. Don't know, they're working on that title, but yeah, maybe I do that. So, alright, see you in a minute. Okay, so I think I've managed to piece together the Jurassic Park timeline. If I've missed anything out, and I mean if I have missed anything out, you can blame the JP Merchoids for that. But yeah, so this timeline I've created is what I'm considering the most coherent timeline there is, using these 10 canon sources. There is an 11th one, but we'll get onto that towards the end. It's to do with a little thing called head canon right here, and I don't know why that's zoomed all the way down there, but I'll just shift that back up. So head canon we'll discuss at the end, so if you want to stick around for that fun, please do. But for the moment, we are going to talk about the main canon timeline that we've got here. So the sources are the films Jurassic Park, The Lost World, Jurassic Park 3, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, and Jurassic World Dominion. It also includes the short film Battle at Big Rock, which can be found on the extras of Jurassic World Dominion's Blu-ray, and also the free viral marketing websites that came out for each of the subsequent new movies, MazraniGlobal.com, DinosaurProtectionGroup.com, and DinoTracker.com. Obviously I worked on those, so I'm going to be biased towards their inclusion here, but that's it. So no Camp Cretaceous, no Evolution of Claire, nothing that's kind of dubiously canon or really messes with the canon. Just get rid of that crap, right? The JP Merchoids can have that. And as the tagline of the first film says, an adventure 65 million years in the making. How true that is, because we begin 65 million years ago, where we see, thanks to the opening of Jurassic World Dominion, a Giganotosaurus killing a Tyrannosaurus Rex, and we see a mosquito suck the blood of that fallen T-Rex, and obviously this T-Rex will come into play later on. But we begin, yes, way back in the day when the dinosaurs ruled the Earth. Then we go to 1525. Isla Nublar is discovered by Diego Fernandez. This information and this image can be found on MazraniGlobal.com, so that's where that's sourced from. Comes from I think it's the information page on Jurassic World itself, because it talks about the island. 1526, I'm going to pronounce this horribly because I've got a cold from all this cold weather on this ice planet. Muertus Archipaglio, I can't say that word, discovered, but the date is disputed. This information was revealed on the MazraniGlobal.com backdoor terminal timeline. But yes, the 5 deaths, these neighbouring islands to Isla Nublar, were discovered as well. And they will play an important role later on. 1913, our dear John Parker Hammond is born in Edinburgh, Scotland. So the founder of InGen, himself the man who had the idea to clone dinosaurs from mosquitoes trapped in amber. It is his birthday, 1913. So 1930, Sanjay Masrani is born in Mumbai, India, and we do not have a picture of this character, but in 1967 we do have a picture of his son, Simon Masrani, who is also born in the same location, and this information was from MazraniGlobal.com. These two will play an important role. Sanjay Masrani is friends with John Hammond, by the way. 1974, Charlotte Lockwood is born. This picture comes from Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Now this character is going to play a very important role in sort of the history of Jurassic Park, and that's why she's got like a separate timeline which we'll follow as we go along. 1975 sees the founding of InGen Genetics Technology, aka InGen Bioengineering, and it's established in San Diego, USA. And then 2 years later, Biosyn Genetics is founded by Bill Steingarten and Jeff Rossiter. That information can be found on dinotracker.com via leaked Biosyn. Oh no, it's not even leaked documents, it's actually just on their bio page. 1982, we learn via the Maserati Global backdoor terminal that Isla Sorna was leased from the Costa Rican government by InGen, so they can start their research and development into the cloning of dinosaurs on this island. And they need a lot of space because dinosaurs are quite big, and so they basically need a lot of land if they're going to be successful. 1983, construction begins on Jurassic Park San Diego. So the idea originally John Hammond and Benjamin Lockwood had was to showcase the dinosaurs on a mainland park and ship them from Isla Sorna to this mainland park and perhaps back, due to medical research and all that, making sure the dinosaurs are healthy and changing what's on display. But that was the idea, so they were going to ship them back and forth. It is disputed because Isla Sorna in the timeline is known as Site B. That's what the labs and the village on the island and stuff is all known as Site B. So it is up for debate whether Jurassic Park San Diego is actually known as Site A. But yes, maybe those names came later on because obviously Isla Sorna was leased before Jurassic Park San Diego. But anyway, 1985, we see that Jurassic Park San Diego was decommissioned. Isla Nublar is actually released from the Costa Rican government. So a neighbouring island to Isla Sorna is leased, and John Hammond decides to, we need to start building a park on another island because the scope of this project is far too big. And so Jurassic Park San Diego is decommissioned and left abandoned on the InGen waterfront complex. And I'm just going to have a sip of warm tea to help my throat here. Okay, so you can see Charlotte Lockwood's timeline here carrying on. Sort of has a detour here to 1986. The first dinosaur was successfully cloned at Site B on Isla Sorna. This information was revealed on the Maserati Global backdoor terminal. Actually, a lot of the timeline was revealed there because, and I don't know if younger fans know this, but before 2015, there was no official Universal Pictures stamp of approval on any timeline to do with Jurassic. Fans were asking for one for ages, myself included. So when making MaseratiGlobal.com and getting the chance to make the backdoor terminal, that's where we introduced the timeline and revealed a lot of this stuff. And one of the bits of information was 1986 being the year that the first dinosaur was cloned successfully. So that obviously hints towards that there are, in the past they didn't have successes, but this time it worked. Now in Jurassic World Dominion, which is what this image comes from, they actually show video footage of Isla Sorna back in 1986, and they show a Microceratus. Now nothing in the established canon as it is confirms whether that is the first dinosaur or not, so we just don't know. So 1988, construction of Jurassic Park begins. So 3 years later, after the island's leased, obviously they've got things ready and the construction on the park begins, and a Tyrannosaurus is cloned on Isla Sorna from the blood of the mosquito that drank from it 65 million years ago. So all the way back in time, when we see the mosquito drinking from the dead T-Rex, or I guess soon to be dead T-Rex, it's kind of vague, but yeah, drank the blood. That T-Rex is cloned in 1988. 1990, the first mature animals are moved from Isla Sorna Site B to Isla Nublar, so they're now moving the dinosaurs into the park. Now down here, we're following Charlotte's timeline. You can see it says Charlotte Lockwood lives on Site B 1986 to 1995, and she visits Jurassic Park on Nublar before the 93 incident. This information was confirmed in Jurassic World Dominion, that she lived on the island until the storm, which happened in 1995, and we'll get onto that in a minute. But there's this picture of her on Isla Nublar at the park, and it says here, it might be a bit pixelated, but in the 4K version of the film you can see it easily. It says grand opening. So just before they were going to open, before the events of Jurassic Park, she went and visited and was very excited about it. And we see in the videos in Jurassic World Dominion that she lived on Site B. Also, 1992, Sanjay Masrani passes away, and Simon Masrani is made Chief Executive Officer of the Mascom network. So a telecommunications company, Masrani becomes the head of it. And they're growing in their prestige. 1993, we see the events of Jurassic Park take place. So the movie Jurassic Park, everything you see there takes place in this year. And obviously that shows you that, you know, Charlotte wouldn't be visiting the park if it had been destroyed, so that places that before. Just a specific date is unknown. 1994, InGen returns to Isla Nublar to clean up after the 93 incident. Biosin sneaks an employee into the operation to gather research. All this information could be found on all the viral marketing websites. Biosin has a lot of sneaky deeds they're up to in the background, and that's all, you know, been revealed on the viral marketing websites, and then is sort of very cleverly hinted at in the movies. Anyway, 1995, Hurricane Clarissa causes the shutdown and abandonment of Isla Sorna. So Isla Sorna, Site B, is abandoned. A hurricane caused obviously the park had fallen on Isla Nublar. Company's in a lot of trouble, and then this hurricane hits, and John Hammond's just like, pull the plug. Pull the plug, get him out of there. Now it says here, Ian Malcolm breaks his NDA about the 1993 incident. So Jeff Goldblum's character in the movie, he decided, I can't be silent about this anymore, and this is revealed on Dinosaur Protection Group website via the Old Park incident report. It says here, I'll just read it very briefly. Theories regarding the incident weren't openly discussed until after a televised interview with Dr. Ian Malcolm in 1995, during which he famously disclosed sensitive information about the events of 1993. So there you go. So it was on TV, he broke his NDA to the world. And that is confirmed in The Lost World as well, when he meets that guy on the train and he doesn't believe him. He's like, thinks he's a kook for thinking dinosaurs are real. So down here we have a date unknown. John Hammond splits from his InGen business partner, Benjamin Lockwood, who is Charlotte Lockwood's dad, over the concept of human cloning, and John calls the idea unholy. However, the split itself might actually be part of a lie. We know that John Hammond called the idea unholy, but we don't know if their split was actually a lie. Actually, we don't even know if he did call it unholy. This is a very big question mark about the specifics of this, but we do know that Benjamin Lockwood told his businessman who's looking after his estate funding that he cloned his daughter after she died, and the ideas of human cloning made him and John Hammond split. So there's that. 1996, InGen creates an asset catalog, so this can be found on the Dinosaur Protection Group website, or the InGen list as it's otherwise known. It's in two parts on that website, two different reports. The Old Park article and what happened to the Gene Guard Act report has all the documents on it. But yeah, so we put a date on it as December 7th, 1996 that they created that. Now, 1997, the events of the Lost World Jurassic Park take place, and the public get their first look at a living dinosaur. So Ian Malcolm breaking his NDA, he's redeemed in the public's eye because there's a T-Rex running around the streets of San Diego. This event also causes the law to be put into place. The Ethical Negligence Within Paleogenetic Resurrection, the ENPGR bill, was passed under a new, simpler title, Gene Guard Act, in 1997 as a response to the San Diego incident. So no more clones, basically. No clones of dinosaurs you've already cloned. No clones of any new dinosaurs. Just nothing. Stop cloning until we work out the ethics of this or whatever. They don't want any more clones. It's also this year that Dr. Henry Wu creates Caracosis wutanus, a plant hybrid. So he takes two different species of plant and melds them together and creates a brand new species of plant. So he's on his road to creating hybrids right there. And this is also the year, right near the end of the year, I believe, John Hammond passes away. Okay, so 1998 is quite a pivotal year because international genetics technology is acquired by Masrani Global. So since, if we go all the way back to 1992, Sanjay Masrani died, Simon Masrani takes over the company, and then they buy out InGen, and that information can be found on masraniglobal.com. 1999, Masrani Global acquires limited access to Isla Nublar and Isla Sorna. Obviously, the Gene Guard Act is still in place here, so they can't clone any new dinosaurs. They're they were probably just overseeing their assets and what they have at their disposal and seeing what's going on. We don't quite know the full extent of the operation of that, but we all do know, thanks to leaked documents across the viral websites, that secret illegal cloning did take place on Isla Sorna in 1999. Simon Masrani unaware of this going on. But we do find out on dinotracker.com that it was secretly initiated by Biosyn for research purposes. So Biosyn up to no good in the background again. And just so happens that Wu was involved in this, but didn't know Biosyn was involved. But he was doing some of the research on Isla Sorna. And coincidentally enough, the next year he gets to begin work on the Jurassic World project. So whatever research he found, he used it to bargain his way to the top of the InGen labs on Nublar. So, 2000, well, I mean, not Nublar at that time, but, top of the list in Simon Masrani's eyes. 2001, Jurassic Park 3, the events of that movie take place. The Kirbys kidnap Alan Grant to go try and save their son. And at the end of that movie, you see 3 pteranodons fly off into the sunset. And via all of the marketing websites, the viral marketing websites, you learn that those 3 pteranodons were captured in Canada by a mercenary team headed by a guy called Vic Hoskins. And this image here is from a video of that incident that can be found on dinotracker.com. If you go to Vancouver, Canada, and dig around there, you'll find the Easter egg of that. So, so that closes that loop of what happened to those pteranodons, and Vic Hoskins get hired. And then 2002, construction of Jurassic World begins on Isla Nublar. So after the successful capture of the pteranodons in Canada by Vic Hoskins, he is hired by Masrani Global to head the security teams who keep construction workers safe from the remaining dinosaurs. Basically, he did so well with those pteranodons, he got the gig being head of security. And this image here is like in-universe concept art of like what they wanted the park to look like, and obviously they pretty much made it look like that. But you can see down the bottom the Masrani Global logo is slightly different. It's like an older one, and it says summer 2004. So they originally planned to open the park in 2004. We'll get back to that in a minute. 2003, the Gene Guide Act is actually revised, allowing Masrani Global to pursue the growth of new dinosaurs to showcase at Jurassic World. All information on why that happened and all the corruption and goings on as to why that law got overturned can be found on dinosaurprotectgroup.com. So 2004, Jurassic World's construction is actually complete, and the assets, or dinosaurs, are moved from Isla Sorna to Isla Nublar. However, the park did not open until 2005. It got delayed by a year. So Jurassic World opens to the public that year. That actually was an Easter egg we wrote on the websites to hint towards, how the movie Jurassic World was delayed by a year. It was meant to come out in 2014, but then it got shifted to 2015. So 2004, 2005, 2014, 2015. You get it? Anyway, so Charlotte's timeline's still going on here, and we go up to 2008. Maisie Lockwood is born via parthenogenesis by Charlotte and her father Benjamin Lockwood, and obviously he lies to Mills, the person who's overseeing his estate, that Maisie was a clone of his daughter who died in a car accident, but he's just trying to, keep keep Maisie safe because of the incredible feats in genetic engineering that Charlotte did with Maisie by fixing her illness in her. So anyway, so 2008 she's born, and then 2009 Charlotte Lockwood dies. So that's the year she dies, and then 2012 the Ibris project begins development, headed by Vic Hoskins. So the Integrated Behavioral Raptor Intelligence Studies kicks off. They start looking into how clever these raptors are, what they can do to potentially control them. All that kicks off there. And also, coincidentally, the same year, the first hybrid dinosaur, the Indominus Rex, is hatched, which we see in the opening of Jurassic World. 2013, Lewis Dodson becomes the CEO of Biosyn Genetics. So he hasn't been caught out yet for all his misdeeds and all his secret goings on. And he's managed to rise to the top, and this information was revealed on dinotracker.com. Okay, so then 2014, MasraniGlobal.com expands. The website expands to reveal the history behind Jurassic World. So, obviously, in the real world, this website launched then, but in universe, it's like the website just expanded to reveal how did this park come around? How did they do it? And what's to come in the future and all that sort of stuff. So that's when that happened. And obviously, I've got this blue line here because the hybrid Indominus Rex hatched and the Ibris project begins. But that leads to the events of Jurassic World in 2015, where the Indominus Rex gets out and causes havoc, and Vic Hoskins tries to use the Raptors to take it down, but that doesn't work. And you know that you've seen the movie. Simon Masrani is killed. Also this year, MasraniGlobal.com gets a backdoor terminal which leaks information on the history of the company, including a timeline of events. So someone at Jurassic World decided, you know what, people need to see this, and made that public. Okay, so between the years 2015 and 2017, Biosyn secretly takes dinosaurs from Isla Sorna. This was revealed in, well, all over the viral marketing websites and also in Jurassic World Dominion via the character Ramsey, talking about the first generation of dinosaurs coming from Isla Sorna to Biosyn Valley. Also, around somewhere between this time, probably 2016, mercenaries secretly entered Isla Nublar to obtain Indominus Rex DNA. I didn't put an actual date on this because obviously I don't count certain other things as canon that do talk about the date of this, because I think that they're rubbish. But yeah, so it's just sometime between that year they go to the island and get the Indominus Rex DNA. And then 2017, Isla Nublar's long dormant volcano Mount Sibo begins to show signs of becoming active. DinosaurProtectionGroup.com goes live, publicly revealing leaked documents on the corruption behind Masrani Global and InGen, and also, you know, information on Mount Sibo itself. So yeah, that's 2017, very busy year for activism in the Jurassic universe, and obviously the debate on whether we should go to Isla Nublar and save those dinosaurs really kicks into high gear. So I've got the brown line here for the mercenaries stealing the Indominus Rex DNA, leading to Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom in 2018. So the events of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom take place. Dinosaurs and their DNA is sold globally. Benjamin Lockwood is murdered by Eli Mills, a business owner who oversaw the Lockwood estate fortune, this guy here. So Benjamin Lockwood dies. And after discovering she is in fact a clone, Maisie Lockwood releases a group of dinosaurs into the wilds of mainland America. So in an emotional decision, she decides, no, these dinosaurs deserve to live because I deserve to live, because she's been told a lie. Anyway, so 2019, the events of Battle of Big Rock take place. Now, Battle of Big Rock is the first major incident between the general public and a dinosaur since the San Diego incident, really. Obviously, Jurassic World was on an island. I mean, like on mainland America or anywhere in the world that's not the island. This is the first major incident where humans got caught in between a Allosaurus and Nasutoceratops herd. So, yeah. 2022, the year of Jurassic World Dominion. So, DinoTracker.com goes live, documenting dinosaur sightings from around the world. You know, the fallout from Maisie releasing dinosaurs and Mills's auction. And they obviously show sightings of dinosaurs from around the world. And secret Biosyn documents are also leaked through the website that reveal a lot of the history of what's been going on. Biosyn Genetics is granted exclusive rights to send captured wild dinosaurs to their sanctuary located in Italy's Dolomite Mountains, as seen here. And also, Henry Wu creates locusts that are genetically enhanced with prehistoric DNA. They breed uncontrollably and do not die when expected, threatening a global collapse of the world's food supply. And yeah, so that's bad. And funny enough, I didn't mention it, but right back at the beginning, let's go all the way back. The very first shot of the very first shot we see of dinosaurs in the 65 million years ago segment actually shows a prehistoric locust fly up. So we're tying that right back to the beginning here. Right, let's get to the end. Come on, let's go back. Okay, so then the events of Jurassic World Dominion Extended Edition take place. I put the Extended Edition here because I feel like that's the better version of the movie, and it also shows, you know, a scene between Ramsey, seen here, and Dodson, where Dodson's revealing how, like, in the past he deleted documents and got rid of their history, so basically no one could see what he was doing, which is what was revealed on within, where is it, revealed in this document here, you can see pictured here, which was found on dinotracker.com. He talks extensively about cleaning the past, deleting stuff, like we do cover our tracks, you know, kind of thing. And it's also when Maisie learns of her mother, and that makes her that gives her the decision to help Wu undo his mistake with the locusts. So he needs Maisie to help, and he basically convinces her by revealing the actual truth of the matter. It wasn't so dark and sinister, and it was actually an uplifting kind of goal that Charlotte was that she had obtained, actually. And then, so the T-Rex, I'm not going to scroll right back to the beginning, but the T-Rex that was killed by a Giganotosaurus way in the future in 2022 kills a Giganotosaurus with the help of a Therizinosaurus, the epic final battle of Jurassic World Dominion. And we see the T-Rex meet up with some other Tyrannosaurs here. More on this later. And then the ending of the story, basically, humans and dinosaurs are forced to coexist. Basically, mankind cloned these dinosaurs. John Hammond started this endeavor and caused it, so we have to live with our creation. Coexistence, basically. However, the future is unknown. We have to play it safe, and that's what Charlotte talks about at the end of the film. And that is the end of the Jurassic story. So, I hope you guys have enjoyed that part of this video where we go through all the Jurassic timeline using the official released Canon materials of the movies and the websites and the short film. Yeah, so this, before I get into headcanon, this is basically what I think is the most coherent and streamlined timeline that we can obtain with the least amount of errors of the complete story of Jurassic. Yeah, so that's that, and I hope I'll make this available to you guys. I'll put a link somewhere in the description below this video so you can have a look at it. But yes, anyway, now let's go on to the fun bit. Let's go on to my favourite bit. I'm just going to have a sip of tea. We're going to get into my headcanon. Number 11, headcanon. So, anything that's written in green is headcanon, basically. Okay, so let's get into this. And I do have to explain the rules of my headcanon, because there's a couple of things I've added in here that there's rules that I place on myself for this. Oh, and just before I get into it, this is complete now. So this timeline is complete. Obviously, my opinion might change in the future going forward or whatever, but when you're watching this video, it's complete to me. This is the most complete Jurassic story out there. So that's it. I'm not adding any more to my headcanon. This is it. This is done. So, finished, finally. Ever since I was 4 years old and saw the first film in cinema, we're finally here. We're finished. Right, anyway, so the first piece of headcanon we are entering into for your scrutiny is Die Hard. So 1988, the same year the T-Rex was cloned. The events of Die Hard 1 take place. And the reason I say Die Hard 1 is because I do not count the sequels. That this plays into the rules that I place on my headcanon. So the rules basically go like this. That no actors in the film can contradict actors seen in Jurassic Park movies. So let's say Bruce Willis appeared in Jurassic Park 3, that would make Die Hard, that would veto Die Hard from the roster, because you can't have the actor appearing twice and playing two different characters. Sorry. So luckily, Die Hard 1 doesn't have that. If you count the sequels, not only do the characters in the sequels not talk about dinosaurs being real, despite the world knowing about it. It's a pretty major thing. Also, Samuel L. Jackson, for one good example, is in the third Die Hard film, and he plays Ray Arnold in Jurassic Park, so it just doesn't work. But anyway, also the movies have to feel like they can fit into the universe and feel like they're tangibly a part of it. So, and obviously that's subjective, but for me, Die Hard just works. Even with all the swearing and blood and the action, I think when we get to like Jurassic World Dominion, there's a lot of action in that movie, a lot of guns and stuff, so it kind of fits. And the swearing, there's a lot of swearing in Jurassic Park anyway. It's just the only difference is they say the F word here. Anyway, so yes, the events of Die Hard take place. The Nakatomi Corporation, investors in the Jurassic Park project, are attacked and robbed in a major incident at their newly built plaza in Los Angeles. So Nakatomi Corporation being investors of Jurassic Park, the reason I wanted to add that in here is because in the original Jurassic Park book, now obviously the book and film canons differ, but in the book it's revealed that the investors of Jurassic Park are a Japanese company, but in the movies they never ever reveal who they are, the investors. They never reveal them, and obviously Nakatomi Corporation is a Japanese company, so that's the way I like to look at it. Now, Donald Gennaro's sister Holly is directly involved. So Holly Gennaro, seen here with Hans Gruber, she is the sister of Donald Gennaro, who we see later on in Jurassic Park, and her name is Holly Gennaro, so it works. They even, in this movie, and I just want to make the case here, they even have a scene where John McClane goes up and they have touch screens at the lobby of this plaza, and he has a bit of a joke fumbling around with it.
Good evening.
I'm here to see Holly McClane.
Just type it in there.
Cute toy.
Yeah, if you have to take a leak, it'll even help you find your zipper.
And obviously in Jurassic Park, the first one, they show that the tour cars have touch screens.
It's an interactive CD-ROM! Look, see? You just touch the right part of the screen and it talks about whatever you want.
And so I like to think that the Nakatomi Corporation were investing in the technology of Jurassic Park, the technology in the cars and the computers and all that sort of stuff. So like that's it. So anyway, so Holly Gennaro is Donald Gennaro's sister, and she's directly involved. And that line goes off in a minute. We'll address what comes next. So 1990, we see Arachnophobia. The movie Arachnophobia takes place. Love this movie. It's so the events of Arachnophobia take place. Dr. James Atherton, pictured here, is a renowned entomologist. He discovers a rare prehistoric spider in Venezuela, and they do call it a prehistoric spider in the movie. The spider eventually makes its way to Canamia, California, where they kill many locals. Now, James Atherton, the name Atherton is also in the Jurassic Park novel. The character of Benjamin Lockwood in the movie Canon basically played the role of Atherton from the book, so they just changed his name. So the name Atherton, to me, is available, and no actors in this movie contradict. The feeling of it works with Jurassic. It ties into the whole insect theme of Jurassic, which has been complemented now by Jurassic World Dominion with the locusts and Jurassic Park with the mosquitoes in the amber. And it's just a fun movie to imagine taking place in the same universe.
Now, I want close-ups of every specimen and coverage of the surrounding rainforests and tapuis.
The what?
Tapui. It's an Indian word for mountain. A place where species have survived in isolation for millions of years.
Oh, any man-eating dinosaurs?
Only Atherton, but you're in luck. We're hitting a brand new one today.
Oh, great. Anybody ever get lost?
Oh, and obviously the film is directed by Frank Marshall, produced by Spielberg. It's an Amblin movie, so yeah, it feels very much like it could be in the Jurassic universe. So anyway, so from Donald Gennaro's sister Holly is directly involved, this little snippet of text here, we follow this line all the way to 1993, the events of Jurassic Park. So after a worker is killed, the Nakatomi Corporation sends one of their lawyers, Donald Gennaro, obviously Holly's brother, to investigate the park. So I like the idea that Holly and Gennaro, they work together. Holly and Donald, sorry, work together at Nakatomi, and he's one of their lawyers, so they send him. And this is the line from Jurassic Park that he says, which I think confirms this. So it says, "Let's get something straight, John. This is not a weekend excursion. This is a serious investigation of the stability of the island." Obviously, Nakatomi wants stability after the 1988 robbery of their plaza and the killing of their CEO. So they're very nervous about things going wrong. So when a worker dies, that's what causes it. "Your investors, who I represent, Nakatomi Corporation, are deeply concerned, and 48 hours from now, if they're not convinced," he's talking about Alan Grant, Ian Malcolm and Ellie Sattler there, "if they're not convinced, I'm not convinced, and I'll shut you down, John." So he has the power to go back to Nakatomi and shut down John Hammond's project. So that is that for the headcanon there. So then we go to up here, Twister in 1996. The movie Twister is probably the best contender for a spin-off film of Jurassic there is. It's the one that kickstarted this little headcanon game that I play with myself, where I'm like, ooh, watch a movie, and I don't think it all the time. Like with Die Hard, I was just watching it because it was last Christmas, I believe, and I was watching Die Hard, and then I was like, she said, "My name's Holly Gennaro," and I was like, "Oh my god, this could work." But anyway, so the events of Twister take place, and obviously in the story, Bill and Joe Harding, they managed to successfully put these new scientific gizmos into a tornado, which gives them the opportunity to read the behavior of a tornado and then better help predict how they form and all that jazz, so then they can build a better storm warning system to help keep people safe. Now, I've drawn a line here that goes all the way to 2014, because on MasraniGlobal.com there was a news update that we wrote that says the end of an era for Mascom's Glinda. Mascom's satellite Glinda will descend to Earth later this week after 15 years in service. 15 years, hey? The outdated relay equipment will be decommissioned to make way for a newer model satellite. Glinda was launched to interconnect ground teams studying dangerous storm patterns, like tornadoes. The project was brought under the Masrani wing after a successful series of experiments, and since then, the team behind it have saved thousands of lives by opening our understanding of the biology of storm patterns. This resulted in the invention of a highly advanced warning system that was state-of-the-art at the time. Glinda won't impact on the ground, Jesse Rosengrant reassures. Its trajectory should put it far over the Pacific Ocean, where it will burn up in the upper atmosphere. So Glinda being the name of one of the witches from Wizard of Oz, and obviously in Twister they have the machine that they use to put into the tornado is called Dorothy, so it's a little another nod to Wizard of Oz. So that is one way of connecting Twister to the canon, and basically this is to show that Masrani Global, the storm warning system they have on the island is much better, because obviously after the events of Hurricane Clarissa on Site B, and also the storm if you want to count it in Jurassic Park, they want to make sure that they know storms better, because they're on this tropical island and they don't want things to go wrong, and they want their park to be running smoothly. So anyway, we're going to go back now to 2001, and down here, and fans might hate me for this. So the male Tyrannosaurus seen in the Lost World Jurassic Park is killed by the illegally cloned Spinosaurus. So this T-Rex here, in my headcanon, is the one known to fans as the Buck from the Lost World. The reason I think this is because it's got the exact same design pattern. It's the same animatronic they've used here. And yeah, so it just looks exactly the same. So aside, it might be some differences in its skin pattern in the CG model, but you know, it's so close, it's like ridiculous. And this will play into, as you can see here, there's a line here that will play into something that comes later on. So let's follow this green line all the way down here to, and you're going to hate me even more for this, unknown date. The Spinosaurus seen in Jurassic Park 3 dies and is displayed outside the Tyrannosaur Kingdom at Jurassic World Resort. So obviously, as I mentioned, I do not count things like Camp Cretaceous as canon. And so in this timeline that I've created, the Spinosaurus just disappears. But where did it disappear? Well, you see the skeleton of one outside the T-Rex Kingdom in Jurassic World. Granted, it's slightly different in skull shape, but who knows? So I just like to imagine that this is the same Spinosaurus that was seen there. And even in the Innovation Center on Isla Nublar, they have one of the holoscapes actually says Spinosaurus. You can see it in the film. So the public were aware of the Spinosaurus. They probably housed Spinosaurus on Isla Nublar. It died, and then was put outside the T-Rex Kingdom. So yeah, that's what happened to the Spinosaurus in my canon. And then we go all the way to the end for one last thing. Considering that the male T-Rex from the Lost World is dead, and Colin Trevorrow has come on Twitter, out of all places, to reveal that this is the Buck and Doe from the Lost World. But I take issue with that, because if you look at these two, they're the exact same CGI model, just copied and pasted. Like the patterns, you can see there's like this black blob on the end of its nose here, like the black blob right on its nose here. It has a black blob on its nose here. It's got the same exact skin patterns. So they're clones. Like in my view, they're just random T-Rex clones taken from Isla Sorna, because we did write in the Indian asset that there were 7 T-Rexes originally cloned on Sorna, and we don't know how many like have bred and grown and blah 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 over time. But when Biosyn took them from Isla Sorna, these 2 T-Rexes were those 2, and they were 2 random ones. and they meet up with the original T-Rex from the first film. So there we go. That, I believe, if I go fit screen and then just go, I think that is my entire headcanon. Yep. So there we go. I know I'm probably going to get some stick for the Spinosaurus skeleton and maybe the male Tyrannosaurus from Jurassic Park 3 and maybe some of the other stuff, but hey, this is my headcanon. This is what I think. This is in my opinion the most coherent, most fun Jurassic timeline that is out there as far as I can tell. And so I hope you guys have enjoyed listening to me waffle on about this. And yeah, I don't know if there's anything else to mention before I sign off, but yeah, I really need to get back to cleaning up the ship. So thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Give this video a like and all that jazz, and I will see you guys in the near future. Stay cool.